You know that moment, that tiny pause where you think, should I say this or should I tell them?
Happens all the time, right? They both mean speaking, basically, but how you use them, it matters.
It really does. Getting it right just makes your English sound, I don't know, sharper, more confident.
Definitely. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. We're aiming to make that choice between say and tell much clearer.
We've looked at some great explanations and we want to break it down for you.
Consider this your quick guide to getting it right. We'll focus on the core rules using examples to make it stick.
Okay, so let's dive in. What's the big takeaway here? A main difference?
Well, at its heart, it's this. Say usually focuses on what the words being spoken.
Right, the actual message.
And tell tends to focus on who the person receiving that message.
The recipient. Okay. Keep that in mind, folks, as we go deeper. What versus who?
Exactly. Let's start with say. So its main job is really emphasizing the content.
The information itself.
Precisely what was communicated.
Okay, like an example we saw was, she said she was tired.
Perfect. See how the focus is just on what she communicated? Her tiredness?
Makes sense. It's about her statement.
And another really common use for say is when you're quoting someone directly.
Ah, right, like direct speech.
Yep, for instance.
Yeah.
He said, I'll be there at 6.
You're highlighting his exact words there. The quote itself is the key thing.
That's it. Now, a little grammar tip that's helpful, say, is usually followed by, well, a clause or a sentence.
Like he said he was leaving, that kind of structure.
Correct. And if you do want to mention who heard it,
then you need that little word to, right?
You got it. You have to use to. So she said to me that she was sorry.
And crucially, you never say, she said me.
No, definitely not. She said me that she was sorry. Just sounds wrong. You need the to.
Okay, clear enough for say. Let's switch gears to tell.
All right, so remember our core idea. Tell brings the focus onto the listener, the recipient, the who. It emphasizes who received the information.
So, going back to that tiredness example, if we want to focus on who heard it,
then you'd use tell, like, she told me she was tired.
Okay, now the emphasis shifts to me, the person she informed.
Exactly, and you see this in other examples too, like, I told my friend the truth.
The friend is the focus there, the recipient of the truth.
Or he told us a funny story. Again, us, the people who heard the story, are highlighted.
It's quite subtle, actually, how changing that one word shifts the focus.
It really is. It directs the listener's attention.
So is there a typical structure for tell, a grammar pattern?
Yes, there is. It usually follows the pattern, tell plus the person, plus then what was told.
Tell, person.
What?
Okay. Think of a simple command. Tell me your name, person, me. Then the what, your name.
That makes perfect sense. Very direct.
Now this leads to a common mistake people sometimes make.
Oh, what's that?
Using tell followed directly by that without saying who was told.
Right, like the example, she told that she was happy. It feels like something's missing. It does, doesn't it? You're left wondering, told who?
So the correct way needs the person. She told me that she was happy, or she told her boss, or whoever.
Precisely. You need that recipient in there for tell to work correctly in that structure. It's about that information transfer to someone.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this. How about we try putting it into practice?
Good idea. Let's do a quick sort of mini quiz. Imagine I'm asking you directly. Ready?
Yep, let's do it. Fire away.
Okay, first one. Fill in the blank. Can you snee your name? Say or tell?
You're asking me to receive the name, focus on the recipient. So tell. Can you tell me your name?
Spot on. Okay, number 2. He didn't have time.
Here, it feels like we're reporting his statement, the what?
Yeah.
The content.
Yeah.
So, said. He said he didn't have time.
Perfect. You're on a roll. Third one. I heard to call me later.
Okay, there's a recipient mentioned her, and it's like an instruction to her. So, I told her to call me later.
Excellent reasoning. Last one. Did you anything to him?
Wait. There's that little word, to, again, to him. That signals the recipient is handled differently. So it must be say. Did you say anything to him?
Fantastic. 4 out of 4. You've definitely nailed the main distinction.
Phew. Okay, good. It helps to work through them like that.
It really does. And, sometimes seeing it laid out visually helps too. Our sources had a useful recap table. Should we run through that quickly?
Yeah, let's do it. A quick comparison always helps log things in.
Okay, first row was about focusing only on the message itself.
Right. And the table says, say, works here, example. She said hello. but tell doesn't usually fit.
Exactly, because tell implies someone is being told. You can't just tell hello into the void.
Makes sense. Next point. Including who was told.
Here, say needs that to preposition we talked about, say to someone, but tell takes a direct object.
Like he told me the truth. Me is the direct object there.
Precisely. Then, using direct speech quotes.
Say is the winner here, right?
Yeah.
He said goodbye. Very common.
Very common. But tell, with the direct quote, not so much. He told goodbye. Sounds odd.
Yeah, definitely unnatural. Okay, last point on the table.
Using the verb without mentioning a person at all.
Say works here. She said it's late. We don't know who she said it to, maybe no one specific.
But tell needs a person. You can't just tell it's late. You have to tell someone it's late.
So yeah, that table really just hammers home the core idea, doesn't it?
It does. Say leans towards the what, the message. Tell leans towards the who, the recipient.
It all comes back to emphasis.
Pretty much. So the simple takeaway, focusing on the words, use say. Focusing on the listener, use tell.
Okay, great summary. Now, for everyone listening, here's a little challenge for you, something we picked up from the source material.
Yeah, this is a good way to make it practical.
Try this yourself. Just take a moment later today and write down 2 sentences. That's it. One using say correctly, focusing on the message.
And one using tell correctly, making sure you include who was told.
Just writing them out, thinking it through, can actually really help cement the difference in your mind. See how it feels.
Absolutely. And remember, learning a language is, well, it's a journey. This deep dive hopefully clears up a common tricky point.
Definitely gives a solid foundation.
And the more you notice these words, how people use say and tell, in conversations you hear, or in things you read, the more natural it'll become for you too.
That's a really good point. Active noticing. So maybe think about your last couple of chats. Did you use say? Did you use tell?
Were you thinking about what was said or who you were saying it to?
Yeah, just reflecting on that can sharpen things up even more.
It's funny how these small words carry quite a bit of weight in how we frame our communication, isn't it? Makes you think a bit more consciously about word choice.